No makeup.
My skin does not reflect that of someone who's been taking this for 7 years. Not today, at least.
Oh my gosh. Okay, well, we're already live. I'm gonna go in the Voxer chat and just remind. I think people are still coming on.
Hello, everybody. I like this little lunch and learn. This is fun. I think I might try to do this.
Yeah, it is fun. People have loved it. Okay, let's see.
Kind of be relaxed. What are you guys all in Florida? Like the palm trees on the beach? Looking good.
Oh, Paula.
No, I'm in St. Croix, Virgin Islands. I just saw my friends came to visit New York, so I had to get a little lunch and learn. No matter what you're doing, you could be anywhere. Lunch and learn.
Oh, yay. I love that. I love St. Thomas. I've been there. That's a nice place to be. Croix.
It's busy. It's busy. I like it slow and smooth.
Croix is so slower.
I'm in Maine and there is a ton of snow outside. A ton.
I love to see that.
Yeah, let's see it, Jennifer. Come on. I'm gonna put you
Let's see.
10 video or
Yes, I want to see.
Oh, I'm so jealous.
Oh,
Bottle some up.
that is amazing.
that is beautiful.
It's kind of coming down pretty good.
Wow. Paula,
Wow.
I'm gonna spotlight you. Show us your beach. Let's see. Oh, look, add spotlight.
Oh.
Do that.
Well, let's put the two side by side, the beach.
Right. Look at that. Oh my goodness.
Yeah.
I feel like I'm on a cruise.
That's beautiful.
Wow.
Yeah, and it is a cloudy day, but you know, I'm at lunch and learn. Lunch and learn. Where's Doug? Where's Doug? Where's Doug at?
I'm here.
Oh, look at
Yes.
you. Just in time. Boy,
I just made it.
oh my gosh.
Wendy was going off.
Oh yeah, we were on another Zoom. She was talking about "Women Hear Me Roar," Bonnie Redding song. We need to listen to that. Not you, Doug.
She sang it to us.
Did she sing it?
She did.
She's talking about the women's rights movement, everything. Like
She's angry today.
she's passionate, angry is what she said.
Oh yeah.
Yeah, don't say she angry. She's passionate angry.
She's so passionate, she's mad. What she said. Okay, so we're waiting. We got a couple more people coming on. Hi, Jerry. Jerry joined the Blitz for the first time. Maybe you could give us an update of how you felt about that.
I really liked it. I thought it was a great way to get the day started, and you know, like for me being at 6 o'clock, for me, I could do it before the kids were awake, which is like super key for me because I homeschool all my kids. So yeah, but
Sounds like you might have a lot of kids. How many kids do you have?
I have 3.
Okay, she said all my kids, so figured it was a number. Good job.
No, it's not a huge number. It's just
Three's
a
enough.
lot.
How old are they? Can they be business partners?
Not quite. My oldest will be 15 this month, and then 8 and 6.
Wow, girl, 15-year-old, you look like you 18. Shoot.
True.
Yeah, I get that a lot.
Who else has a good background to show? Oh, I'm sorry, Jerry. Who else has a good background to show us? I'll show you mine. It's a nice winter day here. Look, the chairs flipped over and everything.
It's like 70.
Where's your tower
75.
gardens?
It's freezing.
Isn't it nice, Michelle? Michelle's down here. There you go.
Are those your tower gardens? Do you leave them
Yeah.
outside when it's
Yeah.
like that?
They're just fine outside. I know that Kristen's in Key West. You want to show us some Key West today?
There's my tower garden. It's kind of cloudy here too. Well, it's kind of cloudy here too, but yeah, there's my tower.
That looks beautiful.
Nice. Oh, right next to the pool too. You are
Yep.
stunning. You showing out. You showing out.
That looks good. I got a pool contractor coming over in about 15 minutes.
Oh, look at you. You showing out too. Okay.
Yes. I gotta have a backyard like Kristen's.
Oh, okay. Well, Kristen should show us her backyard. Wait, no.
Well,
Kristen,
I
how
beat
many
you.
gallons is that pool? That looks like a. Oh, look who's showing out now.
Yeah, we've already seen
On the
her
beach
in St.
in
Croix.
St. Croix.
And that's
That's
her.
a tough life.
That's her home. She's good. Okay, well, we could ask for one more shout out. I'm so wrong. Okay, Kristen, I know you don't want to show your hair, but do you want to show your pool?
I'm on my computer, not on my phone.
All right. So maybe next time because her
Next
pool
time.
is phenomenal.
You got hair issues?
Yeah.
Nalani, I'm looking
What
at your
about Alex? Look at Alex is in the car. Alex, you in
Where'd
the
you
car?
go?
Yeah, I'm in the car, but well, I guess I could try to show you a shot of the river here where I'm sitting.
Ohio River?
There you go.
The Ohio
That's
River.
good.
I've been there. I've
He
been
pulled
to the
over for
Ohio
lunch
River.
and learn. He pulled over for lunch and learn. That's awesome.
What a good boy.
Awesome.
Everybody see that?
Oh, far away. Yes.
Awesome.
That is great.
You're a
And there's-
trooper, Alex.
Alex,
Veterans.
where are you? Where are you in Ohio?
West Virginia.
Oh, West Virginia.
Yeah, Parkersburg. And it is a cold, windy day here today. It's about the high is going to be about 49. This morning the wind chill was 28. So
Ooh, Lord.
Oh,
are
no, no, no. We don't do that. We don't do that.
We hate
No.
No, we don't support it anymore.
Yeah,
God
this,
bless you,
this is
Alex.
why I moved from Ohio to Key West.
Yeah,
God bless you, Alex. God bless you.
thank you.
And Janie's in Montana. Janie, are you near your scenery?
Oh gosh,
I mean,
Montana.
we gotta just do it. I mean, this is the flow
Here
right
we
now. Sorry, did we go with the flow here?
Here we
That's
go.
right, Sharon.
Let's
That's right,
say.
Sharon.
We're flowing right now.
Walk by
Part
the
of
tower garden.
lunch and learn is so you can eat lunch and chat and build community and culture, right? That's all it was
Right.
fun.
So that was her tower garden, which is beautiful. Hold on, I gotta switch
Yeah.
you. Don't show it yet. Hold on. Here we go.
Let's see. Oh, perfect fall day. See
Big
if you
sky
can-
country.
You see
Oh yeah.
Look at that.
horses. Can you see the mountains?
Oh yeah.
I
Where's
see
the buffalo?
Yeah. Well, just horses and chickens and geese.
That's beautiful.
That's
Buffalo are-
beautiful.
Mountains.
Buffalo are in Yellowstone.
Janie, my friends in Montana said it was the first Halloween they didn't have to bundle up.
Oh, Halloween was perfect. I'm going to go in because you hear that. Those geese are so loud. They're
I
crazy.
don't have that
Anyway,
problem.
Halloween was perfect, but we had a foot of snow the week before. But it's all melted.
That sounds about right.
Yep, it's all good. Perfect fall day.
Well, thank you all for coming today. This is exciting. You could say I had a tour around the world today, right? Or around the US. Well, maybe around the world since we saw St. Croix also.
Yep. Around the world. I love it.
Pretty cool. Pretty cool. Okay, and now we've got people coming in. Very exciting. I'm sure Stacy's got some scenery too. She's in New Mexico. I mean, we could go on. Okay. I'm going to try to focus. So first of all, before I introduce Rachel and we just go with Rachel, I want to make sure you guys have your bingo cards printed. Who's got their bingo cards? First time I've really run a bingo game. Who's got their bingo cards? Oh, I see yours, Jennifer. All right, who else? Who else? All right, me and Jennifer are gonna win.
Did you print me one?
No.
Thanks a lot. I made the PDF.
I take care of a lot of people, but not as much you. Thank
All right.
you. Stacy can print her own also. Do you see that? She's very good at that. Okay. All right. Good job, Stacy. Whose do I need to? Anybody? I don't think so. All right. So we're giving out $300 prizes. You could do 12 bingos, you know, up, down, sideways, whatever you do. Just fill out the bingo card, put pictures in the Facebook group Team Transformers, and we'll do a drawing the end of November. Okay, that's easy, easy, easy. And then want to just mention Add More Good campaign and join the club. Those are two big campaigns that we have happening right now besides our own bingo. Am I missing anything on that? Okay. All right. So we're going to go to Rachel. All right. So Rachel is in my mastermind group, and I don't even know how that formed. But sometimes you're just doing the business, right? And you find sideline buddies and you say, we should all be in a mastermind group. And that's how it happens. So, keep that in mind. When you see somebody on the Lunch and Learn, you can always reach out to them on Voxer and say, hey, we should be buddies, or we should be accountability partners, or whatever. Hey, I like how you roll, how you do your business. I would love to just check in with you. And then maybe you get like 5 people together and have a mastermind. And so we meet like once a month, and Rachel is always on it. I mean, if there's somebody that is totally conscientious, totally always looking for the answer to how to build her business, Rachel is the one. Okay. And then I know she's got so many credentials behind her. I don't even know. I hate to even say it. Like, she's written a book, she's been on interviews. I think she has a nutrition degree, but these aren't things we talk about. So she's going to have to include that in her story. I just know that she's somebody who is always doing very well in the business. And she just made a recent promotion to IMD, right?
Yes.
So, yeah, after national marketing director, then they have certain promotions after that. And so she just got a bonus, which is awesome, for growing. And so I asked her to be on here. She's also going to be training at Pageant Boot Camp, which I know I always wish that I was going to that and have not yet gone there in Georgia. But it's great she's going, and she's going to be sharing. So she's going to share a little bit of that. But I asked her to first just share her story, her longer story. And so what I want you guys to do is just write notes of people you think about while she's sharing her story. And we might even be able to edit her story down. No pressure, Rachel. If you needed to send it out to somebody or whatever. But really just even saying to somebody, oh my gosh, I heard this awesome speaker today and she shared this. I'd love to share this with you because she inspired me to do so. You know what I mean? So, all right. So I'm excited to share with you Rachel Smartt. And she's been an NMD since 2007. All right, take it away, Rachel. We'll just start with your story, then we'll go with questions after that, and then we'll come back to tips.
Well, first of all, I want to tell hello to everyone, the Lunch and Learn, and Sharon and Doug. I really admire you. I've always felt like your family, and we've connected through the years, and just like you connect to the people that match your heart. And I think that's a wonderful place. We get to pick a lot of people to be our mentors, encouragers, our inspirational, friends. It's a safe place to be. I just want to take you out a good place. And team, is it transformation? Is that what it is? Team transformation.
Yeah, and we have Take Action, Team Fire, and in there.
all that good stuff, right? Well, I live in Georgia. I wish I was at the beach like a lot of you, but I've been in the business for 20 years and I've loved it. And I don't know about you, but have you ever been in a time in your life where your life turned upside down? Pretty remarkable. I was at a place in my life about 20 years ago where I was raising 4 little children, a 1-year-old and a 10-year-old and 2 in between. And my husband was suddenly diagnosed with terminal adrenal cancer and given 6 months to live. So it took me by a very big surprise. And sometime you learn that life has to turn you upside down so you can learn to live right side up. And I was scared to death. And we went really researching prevention and learning about the power of whole fruits and vegetables, and the power of them to kind of heal the body and to neutralize disease and to give the edge on life. And then in that premise, we went to find a doctor in Oklahoma, and just really it was all about holistic. He was one of the forerunners of the beginning movement of prevention and preventative health. And he became my mentor, and I started helping my husband because his cancer had spread everywhere, all over his body, given 6 months to live, but we were going to fight. And we were given hope that the body can heal and that food is the best medicine. And so I started going to school to be a naturopathic doctor. And my husband was my very first student. To make a long story short, I mean, it was an ups and downs. And I first surrendered my life to God, and I became educated, and we turned to a plant-based diet. It really comes down to the science behind whole food. And we knew we were doing everything to find tools to get more raw fruits and vegetables, like, smoothing and juicing. We became very big juicers, juicing by gallons, and lots of mop slops, cleanups, and stained countertops. But we were dedicated to that for a while. And I was a skeptic of Juice Plus. I heard about it, but I thought it was just a vitamin. I didn't really take a look until one day it just felt like it was a little prayer answer that you need to take a look at this research, and then you need to get involved. So I just was, I looked at the research and I couldn't believe that it was concentrated fruits and vegetables. It was a juicing alternative with a fraction of the cost. And I just, wow, what a hope that we could be able to get out of the kitchen and to be able to help my husband do therapeutic doses, and it would be easy. So we started adding that, saying yes to Juice Plus, and with therapeutic doses of prayer and of course a fighting spirit, and of course the community, friends and family, my husband's life was extended for 8 extra healthy years. And it was with optimal health. He was always an athlete, and he lived all the way, extension of 8 years. And we did great things. We traveled, he worked the whole time until a couple months prior. And I really felt this was an opening door to be a wound that became my core calling. It was hard, but I realized that I had learned to trust God in the process, and learned to realize this is where I needed to find my voice. And I was always very shy growing up. My husband was the superstar. He was over Adidas America, big manager in sales. I always just kind of hid behind him and just liked to walk in his shadow. And then I realized that God was calling me to do a better work. So I began, really changing the way I thought of, myself. And I guess the first reason why I signed the application, of course, I was scared. And then I joined the business because it was a responsibility to, how dare I keep this to myself when people's, getting daddies to stay home with their kids. And we had such a wake up call. My husband looked phenomenal, best shape of his life when he was diagnosed with cancer. So it made me think about the cellular real research and what happens inside before you ever see problems on the outside. And I want those that are watching, we have many layers to our why. So I got involved because I was scared and it was a responsibility. And then stayed, about 5 years, I stayed at the top commission position of sales coordinator. I like making $1,000 a month or so, pretty consistent with that. And I was just weeded in at the ball field. I was very busy, but I was not too afraid to do noble work with all this. It was easy for me to share my heart because I didn't want people to face what I had to do. And it was so much easier than trying to juice and getting all those 9 to 13 plants. And then after about 5 years, I started having, my husband did pass away. And so I got to take a peek at the community of what this had to offer. And my husband passed away, and I had been raising with my 4 children to still raise. And I realized I wanted to get that insurance benefit packet because I had 4 daughters, and I didn't want to write those big COBRA checks. I was writing, after my husband died, $1,200 every month COBRA checks for insurance. And so I went to conference and saw the vision that the ordinary people could become extraordinary, and I could get those 2 big things and stay home. And there's some other reasons that I wrote a book in Modern Day Miracles, but one of the tipping points for me was my daughter. One of them, she struggled, of course, when you lose your dad, you struggle with that. And she told me that I would never fill her father's shoes. And it was one of those really hard moments where I felt like, I had died with my husband. I had to rewrite my story, and that I could find that I would never fill, but I would learn to fill my own shoes. And so I realized I needed to make a change. And so my husband got 8 extra years. I was able to move to the top position of the company, and it was 7 years from the time I started, 2 years after I decided. So the first thing is, it doesn't matter if you sign the papers, it's when you decide that you're going to do this. And that's what it shifted for me after the 5 years of, raising my kids and helping my husband, extend. And then it was like, this is my time to rewrite my story. I got to go learn how to chit chat. I was so afraid to talk to people. And I just decided this was my time, and I'm going to do this, and I'll learn to figure it out as I go. So that was my story. And then you can ask me any questions you want around that. And, I stayed with it. It's been 20 years. I didn't give up, and I learned as I went. And I'm just so grateful to give hope to those watching that food does give the edge. We can rewrite our story. We don't do it alone. We have help, support, and we have systems, and we just got to stay high in our energy and then keep the negative chatter out of our head so it doesn't take us down.
Well, let's take 3 questions, and then we'll move on to some of the tips you want to share with the team. I'll start with a question. How in the world did you concentrate on anything else? I don't know the timeline, whether you started your naturopathic degree or your book, or you really worked hard on the business while your husband, you're still, you know, carrying him for 8 more years, trying to keep him healthy. How did you do all that with 4 kids and distractions, you know, and some sadness, or maybe, I mean, I don't know, you know.
Well, I think it was a process, but when I first started, it was like an escape. Because I was like, I got to help you, but I was willing to do all the kids. I was a robot. I mean, a lot of it was so hard because I was trying to keep my husband happy and positive and moving forward with his work, and then trying to be strong for my kids. So it was all over the place. Some days we're crying in the closet and I'd cry when I went to drive myself in the car all the time, just trying to process, but I had to be up. I had to be strong, and I wasn't always strong. But I felt like when I shared Juice Plus at the beginning, it was an escape for me because it was something positive that I could take myself away from. Oh my gosh, the ticking time bomb. When is it going to be? Is it today, tomorrow, next year? And it was a lot of fear, but I kept focusing in on what I could control, which was learning. I went to school at that time, right when I signed up, a little bit before I started Juice Plus, I had signed up to become a naturopath. So it gave me a way to do something positive, to continue to, find ways to grow me so that I could take myself out of all the stuff that was hard. And then my kids, I learned that my greatest passion was to be a mentor to my children, to make them know, let them know that when you get knocked down, you do what you have to do, and that that you are not going to be, have a dissolve. And although they knew that was really hard and we had a lot of struggles, so hopefully he calls me here. So anyway, that's my story of, it was hard, lots of, roller coaster rides, but I became a naturopathic doctor in almost 4 years. I helped my husband in plant-based, even in 18 months with doing all that we were doing with the, therapeutic doses of Juice Plus and juicing and everything I did to teach him what I was learning in my school. About 90% of the metastases were not seen on the scan in the first little while. So it was incredible, seeing how food gives the edge on life. And then it gave me more confidence to share. And I just was on fire. It was an escape, I guess, and also a passion that I was, becoming really, really unwavering in my belief that your body can heal if you give it what it needs.
Okay, who else has some questions? I've got dog issues.
I've got a question.
What is the therapeutic doses I used? He had a roller coaster ride. He had a tumor the size of a grapefruit on his adrenal gland. So it was a very big tumor, and it spread all over his bones. So we did, at the very beginning, we did probably 6 times the amount. And then we went, between 3 and 6 times the amount, and we'd open up the capsules in the smoothies. But we did it based on his symptoms, because sometimes he did really well, but it was a roller coaster ride of, things that happened in those 8 years. So.
So Sandy asked, what are the therapeutic doses? I'm not sure if you got to answer that.
So it ranges, but about 3 to 6 times the amount.
I've heard that, all of our time through Juice Plus. If you have an autoimmune disorder, it seems like people are taking 3 to 6 times.
Yeah,
for sure.
And you do what you can afford, but you can start sacrificing things, and you do whatever it takes. Yeah.
Okay, so let's go ahead with your tips, and then we're going to ask her some more questions after that. So I love that maybe you could even, share some of the things you're going to share at pageants, and that might help you. I think whatever you're going to say is going to be fantastic, whether you share that part or not, but just keep in mind that we also could help you by listening. So go ahead.
Well, I think the thing I tried to indicate in my story was that you have to embrace change. Nothing stays the same. And so in my story, the teaching lesson is you have to be open to change. We're going to be, I guess my little motto is be ready for the best years and be ready for the worst, because they're going to happen to all of us. It's not, we can't hide ourselves and, put our head in the sand. But the second thing I wanted to teach is that, you have to build confidence. And one of the things I learned at the beginning is that you got to be able to say yes and figure it out. and you have to ink things in the calendar. So when I just started up a new person this last weekend, and I said, we can go through the name list and, get your five to 10 profile sheets of who you'd like to expand and potentially partner with. But let's get in the calendar your like grand opening or your way you kick off your business with 1 to 2 things following that. So you ink it in and then you figure out it. Ink it in, then you get your flyer, you get your verbiage, all those things that you have in place. But that's the biggest thing to build confidence is start before you're ready. And then I always say inactivity breeds doubt. So I really believe you guys have it in place where you do the power of small 15, 30 minutes of real, high paying activities. And we don't really are not in business until we're in conversation. So we could be fooling ourselves if we get ready to get ready. We're making flyers, we're making our organization, on our desk, which is good, but you don't really are not in business until you start making phone calls. And one of the stories that I always remember is Cheryl Cortese is one of my sponsors, a couple up, and she was telling us on a call that she was stuck a couple years, 20 years ago or whatever. She's been in the business for 30 years, but she was stuck and she was going to Jeff Roberti and said, I don't know what to do. And he goes, what did you do today? Who did you talk to today? She said, well, I was getting ready for conference, and then he asked, what did you do the day before? Well, I was finishing up doing what I was getting ready to do. And then, in the reality of several questions, I was getting ready to, and I was almost to doing, he goes, who did you talk to today? So we have to be able to just get in rhythm and just doing something and do it messy. Sometimes for me, I always thought I have to do it so organized. It's like, just do it. Just find a way to, if you have sticky notes, that's not a way to continue when you're growing long term, but just start doing things, get into conversation. And I've narrowed it down to, 4 things that I think are most important. And if my team are not doing these 4 things, I think that they're fooling themselves. So it's prospecting. Are you prospecting every day? Are you following up? Are you building for events or 3-way connections as an event? And are you building belief? Are you listening to things to help keep your energy high and your belief strong? Because it's our minds that takes us out. And then one of the things I've learned too is to build confidence is reflecting after trying new things. Can you guys hear me okay? Okay. But reflecting after trying new things. And I remember once when I was new in my business, I was trying to be so perfect. I did these wellness events in my home. We had like 30 people and I practiced, and I would it was polished. And then everybody signed up. But one of the ladies in the back that I was trying to train, she said, I could never do what you do. And I thought, wow, I had to really look at that. And so I turned things around and I started to change that. I want people to say, I can do what you do. And it was a pride and ego thing. So I moved myself back and I sat down instead of standing up. I did a round circle up, like a horseshoe, teaching style. I asked people to read this little piece of paper on oxidation. What do you think? Read this little paper. And I'd ask more questions and I helped my team win together. It wasn't me being the superstar. It was me getting out of the spotlight and helping my team be the superstar. So that was one thing I learned, is to not be so perfect. And it wasn't about perfect, it was about duplication. And so that was something I learned a lot. And then one of the things I wanted to share with all of you that has really changed my confidence level is learning to ask questions prior to sharing. So when I start, if I'm going to talk to somebody, I don't just start going into my conversation, even if they ask me, what do I do? And if they do ask me, what do I do? I say, oh, I'd love to tell you, I'm so excited about hearing about you. I turn it around and say, well, now tell me why you decided to be a teacher. I try to really turn it around so I know how to talk. I get them telling me their story. I hear their energy. I kind of find some weak, little struggles they have, and have an intention, but not have an agenda. And I'll just give you one example of what I did. And I was going to share this at the pageant boot camp, but I always, when I go to a coffee shop or anywhere I'm sharing, I always ask them first. And then it's pretty high once you ask the questions and then find out what the needs are. They're really open to information almost always, a really high level openness. But one time I was trying to build my business and finding more recruiting higher level people, because you want higher level leaders so you can have more leverage in your time with your family. So I scouted out who would I want to work with, and who I think that it would be somebody who really could help a lot of people. So I was very intentional. I didn't have an agenda, but I was intentional. So I went to a holistic integrative doctor. I wanted a new one. I wanted to make sure my hormones were good. I hadn't been sick in 20 years. I didn't tell you my Juice Plus story. I haven't been to the sick care doctor in 20 years. If I get sick, it's just, I use Juice Plus, as medicine to kind of get, going through faster. And the real reason why, like I mentioned, for me is just, I was scared. Back up on my story. For me, I wanted a bulletproof vest for my children, and to have, just a way to armor up my health and to not take chances with my health. And it is preventative health in the research. So that's my story. And I love the beauty factors. I love my skin, my hair. They have changed. My taste buds have, been dramatically different with regularity, lots of benefits, but it's more about an armor suit. I didn't tell you my part of my story. So anyway, and then back to Dr. Gina, I went intentionally to a doctor that I thought I wanted to interview. I really looked at it as an interview. And this is what I said to her. I said, I'm looking for a holistic medical doctor, and I'm also looking for a doctor that I can refer to that match my values, because I'm well connected in the community and I love to provide the best resources. Would you be open to a lunch or dinner? So I went to her to see if she'd be good for me. But then I said, would you be open? I want to learn more. So I know if you make a good referral. So I kind of a little confident in my, sharing. But what happened is, in less than 2 years, she's was a senior sales coordinator, almost a Q with 8-9 Club. So that was a huge way to always ask before I share. So that was another thing. And then another way to build confidence is I found mentors. And I know when I went to conference, sometimes you can get really, sabotaging, where you look at people, they get up and seem like they're so out there, like what's her name? Oh, I forgot her name. She's emotional. Ashley Hudson. He's like, wow, and then you feel like, who am I? And so you have to find mentors that inspire you, that not crumble you. So you start looking to be inspired by, but you find your own voice. And truly great mentors are hard to find, but they're impossible to forget. So I found, like, Catherine Lee is one of my mentors, and I talked to her. She is my mentor. I have my pajama regional buddies. We work together on things. Cynthia Gompers is one of mine, and then Elton DeBose. So I found mentors that I feel like they remind me never to let somebody sabotage my dream, because people will do that. And there's times in my business that I gotta do this. I want to quit, not to let somebody sabotage us. So mentors going to hold you there and remind you of your dreams. And then other thing is cutting out sabotaging for yourself, like the bad words. So think about, what are your things that sabotage you? I think we can sabotage by saying, I'm so busy. I'm always so busy. And I've learned to change that word to I have a full life. I choose what I want to do, to have other choices come out that for the forefront. So I cut out the word busy. I'm a full, and I'm very productive and focused. And I cut out words like can't and try, don't try, either do or don't. And then stop comparing, like I said, to others, and ask for help. And then I love to, like Sharon and we're budding up with an event. She's going to do a call for me, but I buddy up with 2 other people in my systems of events in the month. And I have Ginger Carter. She's an executive national marketing director from Arizona. And we do a shred event every month, this 3rd Tuesday, every month. And she's somebody different than me with personality, but we are strong together. My team knows there's a rhythm, so we can support that event. And they do the little micro in between the shred, conversation. And then I partner with Sharon Hyde, who is from Florida, and she's one of the best on Tower Gardens. So we have that the 2nd Tuesday. So buddy up. And then, of course, steer your emotions. Make sure that you have a way to, in the morning, I have a routine that I come back from maybe before the gym or right after. I work on my affirmation cards and my emotions and the words that to keep me on track. And just, I don't know, Sharon, how much time you have, but when I coach people, I always say, how are you what are you excited about? And then I say, how are you feeling? So I want to go high first. And what are you feeling? And a lot of times they'll say, and I've only had it, there's probably the 7 things people say. They say, I'm overwhelmed, I'm scared, I'm stuck, I'm scattered, I'm frustrated, I'm not capable, or I'm anxious. People feel that way. So I say, well, let's talk about what you're feeling. And then let's say, how do you want to feel? So I say, well, if you feel overwhelmed, to say, I feel calm and progressing. Scared, we'll say, I'm brave and moving forward. I'm stuck, I'm surging. Scattered, laser focused. Frustrated, encouraged. I'm not capable, I am capable. And anxious, I'm excited. So we know that words have power. And I'll give you a little visual, Sharon, for your team of some words that I have kept, that I put it on the front of my organizational notebook that keep me really strong. So before I make a phone call, I have to make sure I have high energy, because I could have bad days too, which I do. And I can feel like I don't want to do it. I don't feel like doing it. We all have days like that. But when I decide that I go back to why I'm doing this, I look at words. And I wrote the words that changed my heart: dream keeper, cheerleader, a magnifier, a game changed mentor, or beacon of hope. I mean, I have a ton of them. And so I keep them, and I'll send this to you, Sharon, for your team. But it's, you make them your own, but then you put them somewhere where you're always looking at them before or when you get feeling like, got to get going, and it makes a difference. So anyway, that was one of those. One more thing too, I want to tell you that I used to have, my story I gave you is a little longer, but the most thing, I guess the thing when people ask me, what do I do well, is helping people craft their story. And I used to be all about long, emotional stories and just all this long stuff. And it really wasn't effective. It wasn't duplicatable, even though people would probably buy. But, I get really good at getting people short story, high energy with their heart. And I recently, somebody asked me why I got on Juice Plus, and I just said, I was scared. That's my story. I was scared. I was petrified. I was horrifically petrified. I was, then I had a guy that I'm working with now. He's a fitness trainer and a coach, a personal growth coach. He's from North Carolina. I coached him last week. And I said, why would you want to get healthy and get more raw fruits and vegetables through Juice Plus? He says, well, I look great, but I feel like crap. I go, that's your story. You don't have to go. It's just very simple. Anyway, I help people get short and elevate your real connections with short energy and doing that. And then the last thing I wanted to share you is that I've learned that you can work all day. And I used to hide behind work because I thought it was somehow safe. And I realized I don't want to be hiding behind busy work. I want to do real work so I can only work 4 hours a day. Because I thought that when you're a national marketing director that you work all the time, and I did not want to work all the time, so I held back on my leadership. And I realized real leaders delegate, real leaders have systems, real leaders, they don't work all the time, they put people in the spotlight. So I learned that it was about managing energy, not time. And I read a really great book that I just love rereading this one. I don't know if you have this one, but it's one of my favorites to go back to because I love to read, and you have to be a reader to be a leader. But it was a powerful engagement. And it was basically, in a nutshell, it just said that, less than 30% of American workers are fully engaged, and 70% run ragged, exhausted, and never get anything done. So like, wow, the 30% get all the things done because they're focused. It's not about time, or it's not about, it's about energy. So short sprints are, you guys do the blitzing in the morning, and I think you have this other times you do the blitzing, but it's really important to manage the energy, not the time, with I call them block the time, blitzing, where you kind of do a focus of 15 or 30 or whatever, and then having some things in rhythm with your community. And I put something on Monday from 7 to 7:45 right before my team call to do a blitz. And then on Friday from 12 to 1. Those are my bookend. I call them bookend for the week. Get it going on Monday, end it strong on Friday. So we kind of, hopefully have some good things in the week. And they're sprinting, not long days, long time. Just do the work, go play, get restored, and then have some things in place. So I won't go over all my little challenges because you guys have the bingo. But I wanted to end with, I always like people to think about finding your own voice, because that's what I struggle with, but thinking about our Juice Plus business as an orchestra. We have this big, we don't do things by ourselves to make it work. We follow us, we have a mission-driven business. We have leaders that have gone before, but we all get to play our own way, as long as, producing the right activities, but it's time for us to take action and to really believe in ourselves and believe in our dreams, and then celebrate our successes. So we are like an orchestra. We have to play your time to shine, your time to do the call. It's your time to get up and believe in yourself and get back up when you fell short on believing in yourself. But we are able to win together, not by ourselves.
Wow. Oh my gosh, I'm so glad I invited you today. What a way to start off November. Oh, that was incredible. I was going to say something like I feel very low right now because you're really on fire. So this is also what you do when you're not the inspiration, you bring in the inspiration. So yay, Rachel. Okay, so let's ask her some questions. This is a major superstar NMD here. She's been through it all. Why not ask her some questions about where you're at and what would be helpful to you? I'm going to start with Kristen Winter. She's had her hand up for quite a while.
Rachel, that was amazing. Thank you so much for sharing that really great information. I had a question for you because you had said that the doctors gave a prognosis of a few months to your husband. And I'm wondering, did you change their minds once you started to introduce more fruits and vegetables and your own therapies of, more naturopathic therapies to them?
We had the very beginning. Oh, there's a little, okay. We had a Dr. Fanucchi, he was one of the top doctors in the field. He had a very rare cancer, adrenal cancer. And went back afterwards and I asked the doctor, do you think the whole food and plant-based has the power to benefit or extend life with cancer? And he says, absolutely not. So he did not, they didn't study that. They didn't have a holistic background. But so through my 8 years of working that, at the end of maybe the last year, we found a doctor that was all about Juice Plus and about whole food. So it was it's been a learning. We started out in 1997 when it all started. So it was a learning curve, and it doesn't mean that we're not going to live forever. But I saw my husband get a lot more time and battle well. And one of the studies with Juice Plus was, with the research that you have a better quality of life with cancer. I mean, he had cancer. He had a massive tumor. It spread everywhere in his bones. So we saw things do really well, and then it kind of a little bit dip, do well, dip. But part of my book, The Modern Day Miracles, it has my journey of how I found my voice and how I navigated. And there's a whole chapter on Juice Plus. So people use that as a little talk, read the book, but it's really about the journey I took as a woman trying to find a way to navigate uncertainty. But I know there's science behind whole food, but we are not guaranteed anything. But if it even helps you for an extra 2 weeks or 3 weeks, you better believe those memories matter. My kids, that is important to them. And they actually have a screenplay in work, and it's almost ready to go out this year. I mean, working toward it out in that direction, but it's a story about a woman that held, going through a hard thing with her family and building and bonding relationships, how to navigate uncertainty. And it's my story that how God shined. He's the star in everyone. It should be in everybody's story. So that's Modern Day Miracles. You can get on Amazon. So hope that helps you. It could be a little tool. If you had somebody who had struggled with that, it could be a good story. Once you read it, you can know how to best use it to share.
Thank you. Okay, Jennifer.
Okay, so I have a business question for you, Rachel, because you talk about the launch call, when you bring on a brand new teammate and how they're going to be introducing it to their, I guess we call it friends and family call. So how do you coach your brand new people on how to get people on that call so they don't start throwing up Juice Plus on everyone?
Well, we changed the name. Instead of saying a launch call, I do a system where I do a welcome call right off top, and I do a video. So I have that done. It's a done for you. They need to listen to 3 things before they get on a call to do an orientation. I call it an orientation, not a launch. I don't like the word launch when you're starting to do an orientation because you didn't even be trained yet. You don't even know what you're doing. So we're going to have you listen to a welcome call from Rachel, the leader. Then I do a pre-orientation that's done for you. So it's already done because I want them to have vision. If they want to do a little bit or a lot or later down the road, I want them to know the questions were answered a lot in that pre-orientation that was done. We get on and do a customized plan. If they want to offset their costs, they want to grow a business, then determining by what they say, then we customize that orientation and we kick it off with the grand opening. That's the flow. So the grand opening, we have verbiage, of course, you probably have the same, where we're inviting by, no strings attached. We have mentors that were coming to here and showcase our business, and we're going to have a leader go through and share things that are in the our mission to inspire healthy living. And we hope that you would find ways to share and recommend what we're doing, but no strings attached. But then there's so much curiosity built that we follow up with, let's make sure you get the free resources. And then what stood out, like we try to do that and go back to people that may want to partner. We try to do a whole bunch of things with that, building the high energy, and then getting the person to share their story is a big step, and stepping into an event is huge. So we have a recording, and then we try to, like the guy that I'm helping now, I said he wants to do the shred focus. So I said, everyone, we're going to do a shred. We're going to put another shred together with him and I the next week, because we need to build that energy, because he's passionate about that and he'll help me. So grand opening and another event or two right off the top. So, and then I don't know if that went into there, that's kind of the, and then you do, like, I always say the combination for me is 25, 5, and 2. So being 25 plus, for the basic person who's starting, at least 25 names, but I'd hope to have 100, but 25 names is the first combination. And then there's 5 profile sheets on at least 5 to 15, depending on your goals of who you want to build business with. And we interview or talk about how we're going to connect with them. And then we do at least 2 to 3 events within the first couple of weeks if you want to grow. And if not, we're going to, just be a wholesaler that we will just not even do the orientation. We won't even go further, but just get the orders in,
So really depends on what the person wants to do.
Yeah, well, I don't push anybody. So that's why I give them enough with my little welcome call, that they give enough vision so that they will know. Like if somebody asks me at the beginning, do you want to be a distributor? I go, no. You want to inspire healthy living and be a mission to be a game changer for people? Yeah, I do. Want to help people rewrite their story? Yeah, I do. So you have to learn that words matter, and it's how you ask. And so if I say, you want to do a grand opening? No. Do you want to let's do an orientation and customize your business. And then we can decide what you want to do or not to do. Then it feels so much safer. So I cut out the word with our team it's not a grand opening, it's an orientation. Does that feel better? Feels, if we're doing orientation, we're trying to decide what we're going to do, and then we do a grand opening. So that is a twist on our team that.
Wonderful. Okay, who else has some questions? We've got 10 more minutes. Like maybe about, somewhere where you're at in the business and your next stage and what you're working on.
That'd be me.
Go ahead, Janie.
Okay. Rachel, when you had been a sales coordinator for those years, what did you do to business-wise just to move that forward? What would be maybe 3 things that you would recommend?
Well, at the beginning, I didn't have a business. I never saw myself as a business person. That was the first 5 years. It was like, I just love to share. I had way too many customers. I was so passionate, but I studied health. It was all about health and wellness. I never really started listening and reading business books. So that was the shift. I go, I have to see myself as a leader and an entrepreneur leader. I got to get past the addition mindset. I was like, I had 100 customers. You only need 40, or so. But I went and bought all these books on chit chat. It's not just sharing your story or blitzing. It's about how do you connect with people? Like, how are you doing? Tell me about your family. It's not about, I wanted to see if you're one of the ones that was going to come to an event this week. I mean, so chit chatting. And then I read books on business. So I shifted from wellness, get over myself, to be this expert person on wellness. And now I went into, I'm going to be a business owner because I want to have a life with my children and grandkids. I almost have 7 grandkids. So like, I want to spend time with my children, and I want to go on vacations and have spontaneous fun. I don't want to be working all the time. So that's where I came up with my visions, 4-hour workday, maybe work, a little training on Mondays, a little heavier, but typically that's my ideal, and let me tell her hold on a sec. I'm finishing up a call for Sharon Hyde and I'm almost done. Okay. I'm on a training I'm doing for them. I'll do it right. I got 5 more minutes. Okay. Okay. Sorry. Anyway,
So I love that you're mentioning the 4-hour day, right? Because some people might be afraid to become a national marketing director because they think it might overtake, and everybody's different. Everybody can do whatever they want to do with the business. So as they look on at role models, they might see one person doing it this way, one person doing it that way. But it's good for them to know it's not always the same for everybody.
what is, and that's what held me back, and just be honest with all of you, when I first started seeing, I pictured, Cheryl Cortese or people that I go there, they work all the time. I do not want to do that. And I go, that's not true. That's my story. They just we only see them on the 2 calls or 3 a week. We think they're working all the time. And I know you, Sharon, you're playing racquetball. You have a lifestyle. You and Doug are amazing role models. And so I think we tell ourselves stories to take out our dreams a lot of times. So don't tell yourself stories because you don't know the truth. But I'll tell you one thing, I worked my butt off because I didn't have corporate skills. I didn't know I was so shy. I had to put in that time, but I can tell you, my husband was a very top leader in Adidas America shoe company. And for me, in 7 years of working this business, I mean, I did really well considering I didn't have any skill, because this business gave me the skill and I poured into it, but I did work hard so that I can work less now, because I'm not 60 yet. I'm getting there, getting close. So I go, what do I want my life to be in 5 to 7 years? It is not working all the time. It's blocking out a couple things, take a day off. I take weekends off. I don't work any on Sunday, except for 8 to 8:30. I do a pre-planning call. We get on, fill out our DMO, and we're getting ready for Monday, and that's it. We just show our DMO sheet is filled out, and then we go to work. So we have a very, if you don't organize yourself, you'll be scattered, chaotic, taking yourself out with your mind of like, I can't do this. It's so much work. And then I say to my team that's like that, I go, who did you talk to today? Well, I didn't. I go, because your mind made you tired because you're talking about all the negative things that you're all thinking about not doing or waiting to get it amped up to do, and just don't do the thing messy and just say, I just do it. And then, trust it. But I can tell you, I was very stressed. I didn't do 3-way calls at all to get to NMD because I didn't have a mentor to do that with me that I trusted. And that probably was, I remember learning 3-way calls was a skill. I had stickies everywhere. I was so scripted. I'm like, and now it's just like, I don't say anything until I ask questions, and I'm in charge. If you're stressed, it's because you're trying to prep the call with your agenda. But when you say, I have no idea what, tell me about you so I know what part may share. It may be a fit for you, and I want to see if it's a fit for me. So I take control over that versus please do this for me. I want you to be the one. Like I had a lady call today, and she's could have been an amazing leader. And she had called me. She had not done her start. She really kind of got slow in starting. And now she feels really guilty because she works with all the, she's the director to get people into memory care centers. And it's very chaotic this year. So she called me today and feeling guilty. And I said, Tanya, I says, this is a bad year. I says, don't worry about it. Just get engaged in what you can. And let's talk about it in 6 months. I care about you. This isn't your time. So I just let her relax. We're not making you do something that's causing more stress, and she will come back because she knows that I'm not about pushing her or convincing her of anything. So I've done it way different, but I did have chaotic mess. My desks were all stressed and my heart raced when I did connections. I didn't know the skill, but now it's just, I call it FORM and fess up. And I told you, Sharon, that on my desk, I have this little card I made for my team, and I could give you a picture of it, but it even had, when we used to have voice comment, it had at the bottom, but I give these to all my leaders. It's called high yielding questions and business connections. So it's like, I have people put it right up on their computer where no one sees it, but it's like, have you ever considered, what kept you from, like, you were always wanted to be a teacher? Like, what caused you to not pursue that dream? Or, so let me see if I hear you correctly and repeat back what they said. Well, based on what you said, I may have something that might help you. This is the cheat sheet because this is the chit chat. And if you don't know how to chit chat, you're going to struggle in this business. So this is a little bookmark that I give 2 of them, one in the car and one by your computer. So you always are looking at it. And then, like a job would be, have you ever considered a different career job? And this is my big one. I get most people on, I go, in 5 to 7 years, where do you see yourself in business? And they go, I don't want to do that. I go, what are you going to do? What do you think you're going to do? And I keep asking him at least 5 to 6 questions. I don't jump right in and for a solution. And then I go, I have no idea. I've got a meant for more call coming up, and I want you to meet some people that are like you, and it may be something that could change your life. Anyway, but that's a little cheat sheet for everybody that I gave out, so I can give that to you.
Yeah, people are dying for the cheat sheet.
You can make them. Maybe you can help me out because I haven't done it for a long time. I laminate these, but I'll send you a picture, and then maybe we could come up with a way to kind of make it for everyone, and we could, because I forgot, it's been so many years, I still have some left, but to make it so people could edit it if they wanted to, because I have I believe in you. This was when I very first started, but I'll give it to you, and then you can put it on a little sheet, and then you could go have people take it to the little copy shop and have them make it and laminate them for everybody.
I see that, well, thank you once again. Thank you so much. I see that Karen had asked what I was going to ask, and that is, do you have a recording of your story that we could share? That you could share?
Totally. I have. That's one thing I did, because I was realizing I was spending way too much time sharing my story. And of course, you share it differently with different people. But I said it's a video I did. And then I also did one that was for a prospective person looking at business. So I said, take a peek at I asked my friend to do me a favor to share the hybrid business model and what it's done for her. And maybe once you see her story, you may want to connect. And it kind of is a leverage to a 3-way call. It gets it before I save a 3-way call in there. So I do the hybrid. I'll send that to you too. So I have 2. One's my product and one's an intro to a conversation kind of.
Yes, we need both.
Yes, thank you.
It's always great to have such a variety. You know what I mean? Like, it's because different people, you think of different things. I'm thinking with your story, I have 2 people that I'm like, oh my gosh, just dying to talk to. So.
Well, what I did is I reached out to a lot of people, and everybody that I admired their story, and I said, would you share your story in a nutshell? And so I have a whole bunch that I have saved, like Jen Stifler, and just tons of them. And so I have them in a little funnel. So when a new person starts up, I want to build their beliefs so high. So the first week I said, listen to one every day, and they're going to be so on fire, overcoming objectives. And then we start working on crafting their story better, not to be them, but just say, do you see like how excited these people are? And then one of the ones that I got from Beth Leopold, that her husband, she was holding the bankruptcy papers in one hand for the house she was going to lose, and the Juice Plus business application in the other hand. She's a 7-figure earner. I mean, I'm sure, maybe not. I mean, I'm pretty sure she's in there somewhere, well over 6 figures, I'm sure, but probably more than that. We're not supposed to say, right? Anyway, I just thought she is somebody that I wanted to hear her story. So I have that one to say, here's a big picture. I have Pamela Sue, her rags to riches story, like somebody that's really turned their life around when you never thought possible you could do it. So.
Is that all on a video also? Like, is that a little video that you have people watch?
I can copy all the things I have and share, and I'll put it in your Facebook private message because it's so long, but it's wait, I just give 1 or 2 to a new person and they just keep feeding them it. And that's what I did with Dr. Gina. The first week, every time she would drive to work, I had to give her 2 more or 3. She was on fire by the end of the week and she couldn't stop talking about it.
Yes, I love that. When it's the right person and you keep feeding them stuff, they just get so excited.
Yeah. And what is your orientation video? I wanted to ask you that too, like the orientation video you have before you do your 3-way call.
Yeah, I'll send that to you too, Sharon.
And
and sometimes we have to change things because things are changing. So I looked at that the other day. I go, I think it's pretty good, and it's a little longer. It's about 40 minutes, but it saves me time. And if they don't want to listen to it, they don't have to. But I just have to have something that how I do it. It's not how everybody does it. It's how I do it. And then I get feedback from my team, and you make it 8 minutes, but I feel like I do a good job giving people a good orientation, and I'm still keeping it a little longer because if you want to do business, you got to know kind of how to do it, right? So.
Awesome. Well, thank you so much, Rachel. Oh my goodness. We are so blessed. I mean, what a gift. And she's got a lot of systems. Notice she has a lot of systems that she uses to leverage her time and to get her 4-hour work day. But she's working hard during those 4 hours because she still has business goals. But then she's like, okay, here. you know, this is for that. And so you can do the same for yourself too, you know, come up with systems like that. Anyway, thank you, Rachel. We appreciate you, and I'm sure you're going to be back. And we used to totally enjoy coming on your planning session on Sundays. We got off track.
You guys come on my planning session. It's 8 o'clock to 8:30, but it makes a difference because people who do that, they are not chaotic, and you save hours in your week if you do a pre-planning time. So you guys can come on my Sunday because I'm trying to build that out and have more energy. But if I did not do that Sunday, I would flounder through the week.
So that's Sunday at 8 Eastern.
Yes.
Okay, I'm gonna have to start like a whole units tab for all the stuff that Rachel's giving us. But I will try to disseminate the information to you guys. Thank you so much, Rachel. We really appreciate you. And now we know you a whole lot more. And if you need anything from us, please always reach out. And so thank you so much, everybody.
Thank you. I like meeting all of you. You're amazing, amazing leaders.
And thank you, Sharon, for bringing her on.
That was so helpful.
Talk to you later.
Thank you.
Bye-bye. Thank
Have
you.
a great day.
Super,
Thank you
thank
so much,
you.
Rachel.
Bye, guys.
Thank you.
Monday. And
Great stuff.
Yep.
Happy Monday, everyone.
Okay, same
Happy
to you.
Monday.
Thanks, Sharon. That was awesome that you
Yeah,
brought
thank
her
you.
on.
That was super.
Good. Phenomenal. Bye, guys.
Thank you, Sharon.
Bye, Alex.
Thank you.
Thank you.
You're welcome.